Santiago Zapata, and we will continue streaming the development of OpenArthurianX6. If you don't know what OpenArthurianX6 is, it is a open source engine for creating RPGs, role-playing games in a similar to classic games such as Ultima 6. You can find more information in the Indiegogo campaign page. Right now, we do not have a website. Maybe someday we will. Uh, we will most probably have a website once the engine is developed and we can host the different games created by the people and some tutorials on some other stuff. But right now, this is where you can find information about the kind of games that the engine can create, um, the design for the editors, for the different editors that will be in the game. The idea this will be similar to RPG Maker, so you will be able to create or define the different races, the different maps, the different kind of items, and then put everything together and make it work as a game. The main difference with RPG Maker is the kind of RPG, because that one's more um, about creating JRPGs similar to Final Fantasy or classic RPGs like that one. But this one is more to create Western RPGs similar to the Ultima series. So that's what OpenArthurianX6 is, and we have been doing these the streaming for the development of the game. This is how it's currently looking. Basically, so far we got movement in the map, we got party members following you around, and combat mode as well, where you can control your party members and in a similar way to Ultima 6, but in this one the idea is for it to be much more tactical, much more interesting. So for example, by default you will be able to control all the characters, not just the avatar or your main character. Um, what have we got so far? Other than this, Camilo, which is the other team member, has been working on the inventory system. I still don't have that integrated. Maybe I will give a sneak peek of that by the end of the streaming. And also the dialogues are working right now. So the idea is to make a first iteration of the engine. The idea is to have that done by the end of the month. We're looking forward to that. And in the last streaming, we finished with some issues with trying to implement the pathfinding. So it's implemented now. We will take a look at it. Basically, the problem that we were facing was that the pathfinding module was returning empty paths, which didn't make sense. And I found out that the problem was that the way that the solid mask is being passed here, we were assigning it directly to the pathfinded grid, and we actually had to transpose it because it was like well, it had to be transposed. So after doing that, it worked pretty nice, and as you can see, let me show you. We can see that the mobs are currently using the pathfinding, so they don't bomb directly into obstacles, but they try to go through around them in order to get to their target. That works now. The problem right now is that this only works for the actual physical obstacles. It's not working for the other mobs in the level. So the first thing we're going to do today is to make it so that they have other mobs in mind when doing the pathfinding. Okay. And by the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them, and I will take a look at the chat, at the tweet chat, and you can also ask me anything on Twitter, or if you are one of the founders, you have access to the Discord channel. I will also take a look at that, and you can ask me anything there. Okay. Alright, so first thing we are going to do is modifying the pathfinding, where we do the pathfinding. This is this function, find path to. This is used by the mobs whenever they want to walk towards somewhere or someone. So for example, if it's an enemy, it's going to try to walk towards the nearest party member, and vice versa. Well, not vice versa, because party members actually follow the player in exploration mode and are manually controlled in combat mode, so they don't use the AI. But anyways, this is the to-do that we are going to fix. So we are cloning already the pathfinding grid. This pathfinding grid already includes all the solid cells in the level. So what we're going to do is, in this clone, it's not a backup, it's a clone, we are going to mark the position of the other mobs. So we are going to consider as obstacles the mobs that have our own alignment. We can already obtain that using this function, which obtains mobs of a given alignment. Let me look for it. I'm almost sure there is one, because it is used whenever the mobs are picking their target. Let's see. Get nearby target. Alright, so this function takes the alignment as a third parameter. So let's see what we can do. Well, but this one only obtains the closer mob. So we are going to need another function which obtains like a filtered list of mobs of a given alignment. Okay. And actually we can just reuse the first line that we have here. And then we can use that here. We are going to need to specify the alignment of the entity that is trying to find a path. Actually, right now we are only using this function for that, for a entity to find a path from a place to some other place. So we will be fine. I mean, in the future, if we need this function for something like more specific or more general, like no, like homing missiles or something like that, we will have to take care of that. So this will be an optional parameter. And what we're going to do is set all the position of these mobs as solid, or as, I forgot the name, I will check the API for the Pathfinding library. Let's take a look. Okay, and we have the set walkable. That's what we are going to use. Set walkable at mob X position, mob Y position, set it to false, and that should suffice. Since we are always cloning the grid, then it will mark the position of each other mob as not walkable. The only problem that I see here is maybe if we are marking our own position as not walkable, but let me check something here. This Pathfinding library has got a visualization thing that is pretty useful to see how it behaves. So basically you can simulate how each one of the algorithms work. And what I want to check is, what if I cannot be on a solid cell? Okay, we will see how that works. If it doesn't work, then we're going to need to only include as not walkable all the other positions. Maybe we can do that here. Only do this if it's not very clean. It's not very clean, but I guess it will make sense. Let's do it. If n.x is different than 2.x and it's different than from.x, and yeah, doesn't look very cool, but it has to be done. Maybe, not sure, but let's do it just for safety. We are not marking any of the. I mean, if there's a mob standing at the position where we are going to walk to or from, then we don't mark it as not walkable. Okay. Just checking if the streaming is working well. Alright. Now the other thing we need to do is send in this parameter whenever we are using this find path to. So right now it's being used here when we are a party member and we are not in combat, we are following the player, and yeah, we want to not step on our own alignment mobs, right? Which is the player and another party members, and also we should also use it here when we are in combat mode and we are enemies and we are looking for a path to the nearby party member. We want to avoid our own party. This should work, alright? So let's see. Okay, this is a fix. I forgot to comment this. Fix integration issue. Right, we are sending the alignment, then we are receiving it here. If it comes dead, then we are setting it as not walkable. Works. They should be or look to be much smarter now. So for example here, we are going to move here, here they come, and it hit me directly. Well, I need them to be like more lumped together to see if it works. So let's refresh. Get together gargoyles. I think that's one good way. I mean, that gargoyle will have stepped into the other gargoyle if it was not working right. So, yeah, if they are not walking or bumping each other, oh well, they did do it there. So for some reason, this is causing us some issues. If we remove this check, then we should always add all of the obstacles, all of the other party members as obstacles. Okay. Six obstacles, six obstacles. And it's not causing any issue. I mean, the fact that the point from where it's moving is being added as an obstacle as well. So I think we can live with this. If we find out that they are not hitting blocking each other, then this is going to work fine. Still not sure why it didn't work the other thing. Oh, someone's trapped. So it didn't really work completely well because my party members are no longer following me. That's interesting. It half worked here in the mod class when we're using the find path 2 player and we are designing the player. Okay. I'm going to commit this and then we can work on the day and night cycle. So I still haven't considered how to do this, but the idea is to have something similar to what Ultima 6 has, right? We're going to use a tileset that Dancy has, which is the I am already using it for one of the watch faces that I got on Google Play Store. Um, which I think will work pretty well. And it's this one, this Pixel World watch. If you have an Android watch, you can get it and use it, and it's pretty cool, I think. So we're going to use the same tile set, but I gotta look it up, and I'm not sure what it is. We need to go dive into Dancy's tile sets. And we don't know Japanese, so let's see if this helps. He's got a lot of stuff here. This one is it, February 25, and he actually did this one for a project we had together that we never got to finish. So basically this tile set has some shades for the time of the day. It's got some position of the moon and the sun for that time of the day, and then some backgrounds or some foregrounds or anyways. So we're going to use this one. I'm going to download it, just copying it here and then pasting it on the game. And I'm going to take the relevant parts, the things that we want to use. Basically the moon and the sun, and maybe some basic background. So initially I'm not thinking of you using any of these shades, but maybe I will in the future. What I'm doing in the watch is actually like providing a different shade of blue depending on the time of the day, and that I think looks much better. Um, so hold on a second, I'm going to do something here. Okay, I'm back. Um, so let's just add the sun and moon and put it like in a position depending on the time of the day, which is something that we also gotta, and a concept that we also gotta add. Maybe the engine will support like different kinds of sky models, right? So that you can define different, I mean, like the world of your game has different number of moons, not just a single moon, something like that. Maybe that would be interesting to add. For now, let's just add this. So we're going to put this in the assets. I think these are 16 by 16 pixels sprites. So let's put them in a new sprite sheet because the current UI sprite sheet, oh, actually this one will work. UI, okay. We are going to put them here. Let's see. No, they are too big. Okay, let's create a new tile set. It will be 256 by 256. We're going to put them here, and they actually seem to be 32 by 32 pixels. So at least the sun. I think the moon is smaller. The moon is actually 16 by 16 probably, or would fit a 16 by 16 spreadsheet maybe. Yeah, it will fit, but the sun will not. So let's let's think on supporting like these big um, big celestial bodies. So in the future you can have some other planets, more than one sun. Not sure, whatever. Um, okay, perfect. We're going to add a transparent layer here, transparency of the channel. We're going to delete all these and all these. And we are left with just these two sprites here, and we are going to call these celestial bodies or something like that. Here, let's see Arthurian assets. Okay, let's add them to the loader. And let's add them to the UI. So in this UI we got a UA layer which is fixed to camera, and a floating UA layer group which is not fixed. It's not fixed to camera, which this is the one we need. So let's put it here. I think. Oh wait, no, that's actually the opposite. Right, this is the one we are going to add the sprite to. So let's create a new group for that one. we're going to add this as a children, or as a child rather, for the UA layer. I think that's the way it works. Maybe it's not, but we will know soon. And we are going to, in this case, it will be fixed, right? So we will use a sprite for the moon and a sprite for the sun. We are going to put it anywhere, and because then we are going to relocate it. So, and if it's on the 0 position on the tile set, it will be invisible by default. This one's on the position number 1 on the tile set, the moon one. And then we need to somewhere, maybe when the level is loaded or something like that, we or maybe after every time after the player moves, that may be a good part to put it. But on the other hand, this is not, I mean, the passing of time of the day should not be tied to the player actions. So maybe we should put it as a counter, like, and that counter maybe only only works if we are not in combat mode. Let's go with that option. So let's see if there's something similar. Not sure if there's something similar. I'm going to add that to the level for now, and then we can move it somewhere else if we find there's a better place, or I can put it here in the UI. Yeah, I like it better. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a timer, and that timer is going to call a function which updates every X time, and then that's the function that is going to make time pass and locate the sprites accordingly. So we are going to go with the notion of minutes. So every time this function is called, it's going to increase a minute, and we're going to use a timer to call it every second. So 60 seconds of real time would be like an hour in the world. Let's see how that works. So we can use the set function to set a timer, or we could use the delay function to yeah, I like that one. Let's use the delay function. So we are going to cause a delay here for I forgot what I said. 1 second, was it? Yeah, 1 second. And then we are going to call that time of day pass. Okay. And And depending on what's the current minute of the day, we can calculate what's the current hour, which is, I think, what we are concerned the most for now. So this is pretty simple, right? So every day has this calculation is too simple, but I forgot. I should just divide by the number of minutes in an hour, which is 3,600, I think. Number of minutes in an hour, no, it's just 60. Yeah, that's right. But I also gotta overflow this to 3,600. So if this is over this 3,600, then it's going to go back to 0. Okay, and then I will switch the current hour of day. And actually, I think what I do in the watch is I have some simple calculations based on the degrees. Maybe I should do that as well here. Yeah. Sky, let's have the skybox radius, right, as say 100 pixels. And then, so the hour of the day, we're going to have 23 values here, and we are going to divide that by 360. So we can do something like word or pit 2p. So 2p, 2 times p is going to be the same as 23. So we can divide this by 23. I think 24 actually. And then we can just have a first increment equivalent to the 0 hour, but let's not do that for now. Let's just assume that it's on the 0 part. So basically it's going to be current hour of day by the hour increment. That's going to give us like a number of radians. Current hour is current hour of day, and radians are let's, this is going to happen every second. Okay. And then x position and y position, and this is initially just for the sun. We can make the moon be like the opposite. Sun rats is this, and moon rats is actually this plus 2 times pi. Let's do it just for the sun for now. So the exposition will be something like the cosine of these radians by the skybox radius. And I might be doing something horrible here. If I am doing something horrible, please forgive me. I will fix it in a bit. I hope this works. Then we're going to just set the position of the sunsprite to be exposed, and the position in Y to be Y pose, and I'm going to make it visible, and I also need to add some basic positioning based on the skybox position. I can put this here for now. I will move this somewhere else, but for now, let's say that it's on the 100 and 100, and we can add this here. Right, and will it work? What do you think, guys? Will it work? I hope it works. We just need to actually set this to some value initially. Let's say that it's going to be I don't know, like 8 a.m. by 60. And the other thing we need to do is actually call that function for the first time of day pass, and this should only happen if we are in exploration mode. Label is used from somewhere else. Let's see. Well, where is it? It's not being used correctly. In any case, start combat, switch state. If this state is exploration. Is there an exploration mode? I'm lost now. World, okay. If the state is world, that should be, yes, this one. Only if the state machine state is world, which means we are exploring, then the time should pass. So, but we still need this function to be called again. For now, let's put this. Let's call this here. Okay, and let's go ahead and try it out. Let's see. We're going to need to call the assembly script first. And now let's see how it works, if it works at all. So I don't see anything painted, which is not good. Rats is not defined. Okay, there seems like there was an error, of course, but it was just on the message that we put here. Okay. Still no current hour 8 radians are. Oh well, the sun is here. Well, since when? Maybe after for a second. I didn't see it. There's the sun. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to remove all these evil guys so that we can test these more easily. Yeah. Oh wow, this okay, this is the opposite. But yeah, in any case, let's remove them. So we're going to just not include all these bodies, and they are all at the level order maybe. Yeah, they are here. For now, we are going to disable using them. Goodbye. Okay. Sound trap. Okay. Every second that is being called. So we are going to go ahead and try to do something, and it's instead of adding a single minute every time, we are going to try and make it go faster. So first off, I'm going to remove that the dot message, or at least deactivate it from here, from the Pathfinder. And then let's make it much quicker. So instead of adding a single minute, we're going to add 30 minutes, and that should work. The sun is moving in the opposite direction that we want, and then it's moving up, and that's super weird, and then it's going back into the right direction. Oh, what will happen next? This is weird. This is very weird. Cooling hour is 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. How do we get to 25 hours? 26 hours. That doesn't make sense. Well, it's this behavior, I mean, this is what I would expect, but not that first behavior. And I also don't understand why it's sticky to the... That's fun. Yeah, one thing that is a bit weird is that the seconds are not being reset to 0, it seems. So let's see what's going on there. With current minute of day, it's over 3000. Maybe it's because it's 360. No, it's just 60 times 24. Right. That's not 300. 3600. That's the first thing. And the second, let's see if it's better now. Current hours 9, 10, 11. Okay, well that's better because it reset. But still, I don't see it. Is it doing a... Oh well, there's another thing, and it's the anchor of the sprite is not on the middle, so that may be giving us the impression that it's doing a weird path. In any case, that's not bad at all. We need a smaller radius, right? And locating the sprite anchor in the middle. Let's see how that works. slow. Please wait, I cannot wait that long. Anchor. Yeah. And we are going to reduce the radius to 30. Well, maybe it's too small now. It's moving in a circle, I think. Let's try with 50. Yeah, and actually I'm going to add the skybox for reference. That will also help us make sure that the trajectories are fine. The problem is that I don't think this has any standard size, or does it? Mm. 96 by 42. That's not size. That's an odd size. And I will need to create a new tile set. Maybe the full size of this. Well, no. That's a bit problematic. Maybe I will create a special tile set just for this thing. Right, I think that just makes more sense. For now it will be just this. So it's going to be a 96 by 42 tile set. Okay. So we don't have channel, it seems. Right. And it's going to be the skies tile set, png. We are going to load it here. Ninety-six by 42. And we are going to add it to the skybox group. Alright, and then the position of this one is the one that we're going to put it. Let's see, let me think about this. Yeah, we're going to locate it here. We could actually do this in the initialization, but for now let's do it here, and the X position and the Y position is going to be determined by this skybox position minus skybox radius, because we're going to try to center it, but on the other hand the sprite is not squared, so So I think what we gotta do here is just add half of the width and height. So 48 and 24. Let's see how that works. We need to assemble again. So we call the build script. Okay. Let's see how it's looking. Well, that's not what I expected. I mean, the skybox is there, it's floating, but the sun is completely off. And I don't know why. Let's see. Let's try to set the anchor for this accordingly. To the middle of it. Wait. Okay, so the problem is that it should be the middle of the X, and for the Y it's going to be at the bottom, right? Because we want, I mean, when we locate the skybox, we are referring to this point, because that's also the origin of that we are using for the sky. And actually, in this tile set, I can see that what Dancy initially intended was that there were like some kind of hot spots here. So instead of doing the calculations like this, using the sinus and cosine, sinus and cosine, it had like some fixed spots, but this one should work too. Okay, this looks better now. Yeah, because it's starting like at the downside, but it's going to stick to the skybox, I think. We gotta reduce the radius, maybe to 60 or something like that. But I like it. Yeah, it seems to be sticking to the border. Let's do that, and the radius is going to be 350, so 330. Yeah, 40, I think it's more like it. So we need to offset it by 6 hours. So these 6 hours, we can fix that here. We can make it so that the radians are going to be current hour of day plus 6. That way we are going to synchronize with what we would expect, right? Which is the sun being at the middle of the sky by the middle of the day. That looks good. I mean, it's not a perfect circle, so, but maybe I will do it a perfect circle. Yeah, I will need to do that. 18, perfect. And then, I mean, we're going to add a mask here so that it's not shown here. And let's put the moon. So the moon radians are going to be this plus 6 plus 12 plus our increment. And we are going to put the moon here. right? Okay. So the the other thing that we will do here is wait, there's something missing here. We need to set the anchor for the moon sprite too. The middle. And let's locate that somewhere else. Let's say, for example, around here. And I think this is the size of the viewport is um, 400 by 300. So let's put that on 350, 50. Okay. Did it stop for some reason? Oh, well, where are you going on? Are you going to crash with the planet? Okay, let's see. Every second is 30 minutes. And I know there's an issue there. It's been called twice. Yeah, I think there's an issue there. But yeah, in general terms, that's what we wanted to do. So that's just the first step over the whole sun-moon cycle or day-night cycle. We still gotta work a lot on this, adding the. I mean, besides this visual feedback, the tile set should also change. Maybe get darker or something like that. And of course, we then have all the NPC schedules so that they have a different behavior and depending on the time of day. But then again, we still need to add the NPCs themselves. I have the party members, and we have some neutral mobs which just walk around. But and I guess they will eventually become the NPCs. But for now, they don't have any schedule or anything that differentiates them from the others. So I think we can cut here. Um, it was a good advancement, and I will see you on the next stream where we will continue working on the day-night cycle and the NPCs. Thank you for tuning in to this stream, and I will see you soon.